What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to a new episode. I have here with me today a very lovely person who I went to high school with. So we go back a long, long way, or many, many years at least. We won't say how many. We'll keep it to ourselves, but please welcome in your house, wherever you're listening, welcome Alexandra D'Archambeau. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You talked about the not so glamorous side of politics, being people, especially now with the digital era, people coming to you, coming for you, and just being in your face with the negativity, with the comments. And, you know, I mentioned that we were together in high school.
Yeah.
I think we only did 1 year, though.
Yeah.
In the Dames in Antwerp. Predominantly white school. And what I would see from you, people just always had something to say about you.
Yeah.
And I just, even at that young age, you know, we were 12, you were probably 11 then.
Mm-hmm.
For such a young person to always be taking that in, because I remember thinking like, I don't see like what the thing is. Because I think like people thought that you had a big mouth. But I also have a big mouth, so I always cheer for people with a big mouth because I just feel like you have a genuine energy and I know what's up when I'm talking to you. And I don't know, just a lot of people did not like you.
Yeah.
And there
Still
was
that
no...
way.
Sorry?
It's still that way.
It's still that way. And it was just no reason for it. And I remember that you were with your family in Knok, and I was there with friends. And then we went on the boardwalk. Don't ask me why I remember this so vividly, but we were walking and you were wearing like this short black skirt. I don't know if you remember that moment. No. And you were wearing just like this hoodie and you get a text message of someone saying to you like, your skirt is about to fly away. It was a really windy day.
Yeah.
And I remember you were so upset and I was just looking at you and I was like, wow, this girl that, you know, if we were in an American movie or whatever, you're blonde, you're popular, guys like you, but you're still getting like so much shit.
Yeah.
Literally without doing anything. We were literally just walking and you didn't cry or whatever, but it really upset you.
Yeah.
And for me, that was just so sad to see because I was like, it's weird.
Yeah. I've been bullied like from a very young age. And I feel that, you know, having taken this more, you know, public persona, obviously, because I'm in politics, like I need to be out there, I need to communicate, I need to make content. I really try and be myself, but I really get a lot of hate for it. And I think it's because, well, I never really understood. Yeah, first of all, I think ADHD explains a lot because it explains why I can't stop talking, basically. And I
Me too.
have little regard for sometimes what other people are saying. But obviously, I've been working on that. I mean, we're human. Like, I'm working on myself. Like, I try to become more self-aware. Like, I lost a lot of friends. Like, that was part of it. And it's fine. It's part of growing up. And obviously, I'm not diagnosed yet, so it's at a very late age, you know.
But it's also very typical for women.
Yeah, because I was very good at school. Like, I was always first in class. Like, I mean, there was no sign whatsoever that I would...
Not a typical sign.
No, not a typical sign. But, and then, you know, being in politics and, again, being loud about my opinions, everybody felt they needed to have an opinion about it, like about me.
Yeah.
So... the bully, I guess like the bullying just, you know, continued. And it makes it easy, like being a public persona, it makes it easy to, you know, somebody that says a lot, that is direct. And for me, and I remember, well, vividly from my youth, now I can place it more, but from my youth, I think what hurt the most was that I was like, I'm such a good person. Like, I would do everything for everyone. Like, you, even you, like, we haven't seen each other for 10 years. If you would think to call me and it was like, you would think, I need to call Alexandra, I've got a problem, I would solve it for you if I could. Like, I would jump in my car, I would solve it. So I don't really have like enemies. Like, I don't really disregard some people. I really try to be nice to everybody, and I thought that was going to be the solution. I also taught that in politics for a very long time. Like,
join the club.
Yeah, like I want to, be keep my integrity. I want to be a nice person. Like, I want to be honest. I want to be transparent. I want to be me. And the more that I was, the more I was attacked for it. But now that I've grown,
Yeah.
I still do that, but I care less. I mean, I do care obviously still, but I'm like, I'm better than that.
You don't let it get to
Yeah.
you.
Like, I'm so much better than that. And I think that there's also a lot of people that are really glad that I'm somebody doing things differently.
Yeah.
And, you know, if that's what it takes, you know, I'll take the hit so I can, you know, open the road for others.
Yeah.
I'm also, you know, looking into the ADHD part. I'm so over it, feeling like I would not be normal. Like, why can't we just be what we are without having to be attacked over it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also have ADHD. It's not diagnosed, but it's clear.
Yeah.
You don't need a diagnosis to tell that I have ADHD. I told that once to a person that I know. She was like, oh yeah, I saw it from the minute that I met you. I was like, okay. But yeah, you were speaking about, you know, being yourself in politics, etc. Or you tried at least in politics, but now you're like not letting it get to you. So I was talking to someone and I mentioned that you're coming on the podcast or that we're trying to manage it at least. She saw a video of you that you were crying on TikTok, I think, or Instagram.
Yeah.
TikTok. You were crying about something with politics.
Yeah.
I tried to search for the video. I did not find it. If you still have it.
I have it. I'll show it later.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I show it on the podcast?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe a snippet? Yeah. Because I think it's also really important. I know people do not like people online to be crying.
Yeah.
But in that age of authenticity and just showing the real side of what you're doing, the BTS is very important so that people don't have this fantasy of you are this amazing person, so you should not talk about this, that. No. And so you were crying, I think, about the fact that you did not get, I don't know, a position
I wanted for June, which is why I pulled out of the elections. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's heavy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so why was that for you so detrimental that you get that position? Why?
Because I've worked really hard for it and I deserved it on like an all objective basis, not like only in my head, but I was the right candidate for that spot. Yeah.
What spot was it?
Number 2 on the Federalist. Yeah.
That's high.
Yeah.
That's really high because I don't know if people who are watching or listening, they know a little bit how Belgian politics at least works. Basically, it is if you're 40 plus, if you're a male, you have more chances to be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're a woman, you have to be over 45 and then you have more chances. So for you as a youngin, at 30 something in your early 30s to be number 2 on a federal list, it sounds like a big ask. But also if you feel like you deserve it, then you deserve it.
It was exactly that. Yeah.
And what did they say when you said like bye?
Obviously they still wanted me around because I get a lot of votes. But that's the whole point. Like I don't want to be used for my voice. Like I want to be for my votes. I want to be taken seriously. And that means that I'm not going to just continuously be on, you know, spot 4 or 5 that are currently not electable. I would say eligible. I don't know how to say it. Which I've done already twice. And I always scored better than most of the people. So they just, you know, it's like, oh, it's nice to have Alexandra around as long as we don't take her seriously. And I didn't want to do that anymore. Yeah.
And that's what I was saying earlier about the instrumentalization. Sometimes it's not only about ethnicity. It's also because maybe you are a young woman.
Yeah. Yeah. And I refused to do that. I was like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to build it myself. Everything I've ever accomplished in politics, I did it myself. I don't owe anything to anybody. And that for me is so important.
You're here.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I admire that. I don't know if we align on every topic in this lifetime, but I do see that you have a certain grind and a certain, you're just an authentic person. And for me, that is really, really important when you see politicians. I just want to see authenticity. I want to see humanity. And I want to see you being vocal about things that disturb you. So for you to post that video and to just be like, you know what? even though I still belong to this party, but they fucked me over
Yeah.
and I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because a lot of people they would just take it and like maybe talk behind people's back about it. But for you to do that openly is also part of our generation, I feel like. Like we don't give a fuck.
100%. And I think that what I also wanted to show with that message is, again, that there's a person behind all these words. And then I got a lot of comments like, oh, but if you can't be tough, then don't go into politics. But that's exactly what
we
we're
want to do,
doing.
yeah.
Exactly what we don't want. What I don't want. I want it to be a place that is also more open for women.
Right?
It's such a masculine environment. Like, I am allowed to be vulnerable. I'm allowed to be sad. I'm allowed to be touched by something. And I don't want to live in a world where we can't be that, where I can't be that. And I thought it was so important to show. The only thing that was like hilarious is to see like the difference in newspaper articles that were written about it afterwards.
Really?
Oh my God.
If you still have the links, then I will post the different ones.
I will. But there was one paper being like, politician cries because she didn't get a spot on the list.
That is really mean.
First of all, that's mean. But second of all, like, that was untrue. Like, I said no. But
why are you putting this narrative out there?
Yeah. And also, I think this is a big lesson, and also for other generations. I think that the generations that are not on TikTok don't understand how messaging works there. So on TikTok, that video was a great video. If you take it out of context, and you take it out of TikTok, and you don't understand a platform like TikTok, people are going insane. They're like, oh my God, why is she crying? She's looking for attention. What the hell is this? And I saw this narrative on Twitter, and I'm just like, guys, you either are on TikTok or you're not. But as a newspaper, you need to be able to explain that. It's the context. You need to explain the context. And what I did like about it is that VRT News, actually the whole section about more emotional messaging in politics. And that was good because that gave a frame to how messaging is done these days in politics. And that was a really good article. But all the rest was it was a nightmare.
But obviously, you did not do it to like do a certain message. I think it was more like a spontaneous statement that you wanted to share with your followers and your online community.
Even personal talk. Mijn grote meisjesdroom was ooit om nationaal iets in de politiek te betekenen. En ik gelet op mijn goede verkiezingsresultaten voorbij verkiezingen had gekandideerd om nummer 2 te zijn federaal. En ik ben niet geworden. En je zou kunnen denken van, doe gewoon mee. Maar ik heb wel zoveel gegeven aan deze partij. Een partij waar ik van hou. Waar ik in geloof. Maar politiek is echt hard en moeilijk. I never thought it would be easy. But I never thought it would be this hard.
So how do you deal with that? Because you said you've been dealing with negative backlash from a very young age.
Yeah.
I've witnessed it. So how do you deal with it? How do you stay positive? I would not even be online, I think. Honestly, yeah.
The thing is, I thought about it sometimes in my life. Like I said, like, I want to, just close my Instagram. Like, I want to live an anonymous life so nobody can talk about me anymore. Nobody can have an opinion about what I do. Obviously, I can't as long as I'm in politics. So, what I did was, first of all, surround me with better people, people that actually valued me for who I was. And I took a very hard decision to, not talk to some very long-term friends of mine.
Girl, it's the age.
Yeah, I think so. So therapy helped with that. So boundaries. I did not have boundaries. I was always like people pleasing. Like, I want people to like me. And then the more I was trying, the more they, they disliked me. And I never understood. I still have trouble with understanding that, but I'm getting there. So, I learned the concept of boundaries, which helped a lot. Sometimes it helps to get off Twitter for a few days after like such a, storm. Sometimes it's just better not to read it.
Yeah.
And I think that it does help me. I kind of like TikTok as a platform better than, for example, Twitter X, because I feel my personality comes out more and I have a way to answer. I have a platform where I can, people are asking me questions and I can comment on it. It is so much more powerful to have an image than the written words.
Yeah.
So X, I'm trying to avoid a bit more. But Twitter actually makes me hopeful because the comments are like actually more positive almost than negative. There's still negative comments, but you see that there's a whole generation that does understand what you're doing and how
TikTok?
you're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how you're doing it. And I think what helps, and this is, by the way, an advice to all content, like people that want to start in content creation in general, whether it's for politics or for golf, is to start a new page where you don't have anybody follow you.
I feel that. And don't follow anybody else. If
No.
it's really just for the creation of
Yeah.
the content, don't do that. Don't follow anyone because it's a distraction for yourself.
And I feel that for TikTok, like not a lot of people that I know have found my TikTok yet. I think it's an illusion, but in my head it works. So I'm like, I don't care what I post. I like it, so I'm gonna post it. And I don't think about, oh my God, what are people gonna say about this video? And I'm like, I don't think about it, which means that my creativity goes full blown, and I feel much more at ease. I don't think about what people are talking about. Like I'm not busy with that, and that just helps tremendously. So if anybody wants to start growing a platform whatsoever, block your friends and family. block them. Don't have them on your page, and you just be yourself and be creative. And then for the content creating part, that's very interesting because I started my golf page during COVID, which obviously, so basically there was nothing to do. So I was like, what am I going to do in my time?
But you were already golfing.
Yes, I've been golfing since I was 6 years old. And, we grew up in a period where, these bloggers started and their Instagrams got big. And I always thought like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I'm not creative enough. Like, I'm incapable of doing this. I always thought that I was not creative, which is so weird somehow, because I'm like, I'm not a painter. I'm not a,
creativity has reach. So
But I didn't know. For me, creativity was like
you have to do something that is
I couldn't come up with a play like in high school. Like I failed miserably at Dutch. Like I was so bad at it because we had to like do these plays, and I was just like I don't have good ideas. I'm not funny, like so. I really limited myself there, and Instagram and starting doing this golf, content and starting watching other people's content opened just a whole world for me. And now I just like. I cannot, if I enter a room, whether it's like a restaurant, like even here, I'm constantly thinking like, oh, I need to shoot this. Oh, that could be a great picture. It's like a constant full-time job in your mind, but it's fun because you challenge yourself the whole time, coming up with even better stuff to do. And then the golf page, so what I created there is now helping my political career. Which is weird because now campaigns are online. So everybody's on TikTok, on Instagram. And suddenly I became this day vlogger on TikTok for politics.
Wow.
And so, it all feeds into it. And it's so weird because people are like, oh, but it's all so different what you do. But actually everything's like connected. And all the skills that I've built with my different hobbies that I'm doing, I've managed to use them throughout my different careers. And that's why I think that we should stop. And that's also older generation thing. First of all, if you study law, like being a content creator would be beneath your studies.
It's not serious enough.
Yeah. So that's not good. So you have to have a serious job. And then it's just complicated because people are very, negative about you
being a content creator, or just content creation?
In general, it's looked down upon. So obviously you have to deal with that as well. But now I see that a lot of people are looking at what I'm doing in politics, like, oh God, she's like, her TikTok is growing, but I couldn't have done that if I had not started my golf page. So everything is just
Absolutely.
connected.
And it's beautiful that your passion actually gave you a way out of this mindset of you need to do this or you need to do that, because I feel like, and as you said before, your surroundings is so important, because if you have a creative mind, or you're just someone who likes to explore different options, and you are surrounded by people who think very linear, are very limited in what they want to do for themselves, and it's not that they're bad people, but it's just like for them it's unimaginable that you as a person who's working in corporate, as a politician, as this, as that you would create content on golf.
Yep.
It's just like, why would you do that? And also, this as a word of encouragement, do not let the beliefs of your parents or the older generation stop you from doing something that is obviously very natural for you and just easy, and it can just bring you much more joy than what you're doing in corporate, I think.
Yeah.
You should just leave corporate, honestly.
I know, one day maybe.
Just throw yourself in content creation.
But then I also, do you know what I love about corporate right now? I just wanted to say one more thing about something my former boss told me, but that actually gave me like the mindset to just keep doing what I was doing. The day I left my job, we had a call. Obviously, like he tagged me and he said, you should really try and specialize in something. Because he saw I had like so many activities, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that. And that's what I mean. Yeah, it's just so narrow-minded.
So we haven't really talked about golf, but I just want to hear from you. Like, what do you like so much about golf? What kind of sports is it?
No
what can
phones.
you tell?
No phones.
No phones allowed
No
on
phones.
the course?
Well, obviously I film, so my phone is like you can't, you know, it's disregarded upon to like text or take a phone call. So it's basically 4 hours or 5 hours of full peace.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you cannot film anything?
Well, I film.
You
obviously,
film,
yeah.
But is that because they know that you are going to film?
No, you can't. Like, obviously, you can film. If it's a competition that are a bit more strict, like I would not film unless I'm with people I know. Then maybe I will ask one time, like, can you make a video? But I would never like take my tripod with me. So yeah, I like when I'm not filming, I just like the peace and quiet. And I think that what helped with golf, but I think it's with every sport this way. Though golf has a longer longevity, so you can play it for way longer at a high level, is that you keep improving. Like you keep finding ways to improve. It's like people that love lifting weight. Like every week you can take extra weight, but even there's a limit, right?
Yeah.
In golf, technically there's no limit, so you can just continue and go and grow. And also, it really helps when you're alone. Like I'm single. I wake up in the weekends and I'm like, what I'm gonna do today, you know, like, or I have to like call my friends or ask my mom, like, do you want to head into town? Like, I can just wake up. Either I play competition or I go play by myself. I just join random groups. Like you can subscribe and join random groups. You just show up.
Where I know nothing about golf.
Yeah, on the golf course, like literally you can subscribe on your phone.
Oh, okay.
And there would probably be already 2 people playing. And I would like add myself onto that.
Okay.
And if it's people I don't know, I can't talk to them. I don't have to. Like, obviously, you're polite, and everything, but you're just busy with your game and your growth. So I don't have to think about what I'm going to do. I'm going to play golf. And I'm happy with that.
And so what's a golf, like, what is the course of a golf?
So it's
2 hours?
18 holes that you have to play. I think it's around 12 kilometers, and it's like 4 hours. Between 4 and 5 hours, yeah.
People have that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
That's
very
nice.
Certainly when it's not raining.
Yeah.
When it's
in
raining,
Belgium.
it's not nice at all.
You do it while it's raining?
Yeah.
You do?
If I have a competition, I have to, yeah.
Yeah, okay, if you're in competition.
I have to, yeah.
So what is like, I don't know if there's like leagues or whatever, because you're a competitor.
So actually everybody competes in golf, which is also fun. Well, most of them.
Okay.
The clubs organize competitions every weekend usually, like Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So my mom, she plays golf as well. Like she literally plays every weekend in competition. And then you, you can win prizes, you know, like a cup or... I've had nice prices before, like yeah, like sometimes it's a trip even.
Wow.
Yeah, I won the Turkish Airlines World Cup, which brought me to Turkey 5 nights in business class from Turkish Airlines. That was the coolest prize I've ever won. I don't think anything's gonna trump it ever. But yeah, so golf makes me, has given me a lot of opportunities also thanks to content creation, which, I've played golf now in multiple parts of the world for free,
Yeah.
which was like insane. But again, it was work, a lot of work. I did not really enjoy the trips.
No.
I'm not sure if I'm going to do a lot of them. I think that's also an understatement of content creators. Like, oh, she's in Mauritius. Lovely.
But then when you do the content creation, you're also playing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have to do everything, and then in the evening I have to go for dinner, and then I have to edit, and basically I'm just like, I don't have any free time during those trips.
Because the content creation is it's a promotion for where you are, or okay.
Yeah, for the resorts, like hotel.
So they
golf
ask you
course.
to make content for them and come play. Okay,
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah.
and they
But so,
pay you
yeah.
for that.
No, so it's a press trip. It's like free trip, and then I'm taxed on it. Thank you, Belgium. But for the golf part specifically, I just like also it's like a mental game. Like if you play tennis, you don't have time to think in between shots. Like you don't have the time. With golf, like you are walking to your ball.
Or in the buggy, no?
No, we don't do that in Belgium. I know that's also
We don't?
No, we don't.
Oh my God, I need to go to a golf course. I know
Yes.
literally nothing.
You can go to the United States. They're all in buggies, drinking, music. But in Belgium, in Europe in general, we take it very seriously.
So you're walking
Yeah.
between all those holes.
Yes. So you have time between, when you hit the ball and when you get there.
Yeah.
You have time to overthink everything. You're like,
my
oh my
God.
God, what I'm going to play.
And you
what
don't
did I
have a
play in LA?
phone.
You don't have a phone, no.
And so when you're with people that you don't know, then maybe they're having like a little conversation. So you're just there with your thoughts.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
Very therapeutic.
Yes, it is. I know.
That's good.
But it's hard because I'm like, don't mess up again. Don't mess up if you're not playing well. Then it's a
Yeah.
long 4 hours, trust me.
I think you're someone who's very strict on yourself.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because you have been in the limelight, quote unquote, or have dealt with all that backlash, or
Yeah.
it's just because you were born that way.
I guess, first of all, I was born that way, but there was also a certain expectation, I think mostly from my father, to always be first. Or that in my head, I wanted to do it perfectly so he would be proud of me. But I don't think I've ever heard him say it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he says it to a lot of people, though. So I know he is.
Yeah.
But I just sometimes, wish, yeah. So I think that it's been I mean, these are things I like deal with therapy, and it's like, the need for confirmation and the always having to do more and more, and like wanting to be seen and get this confirmation. And it's also probably one of the reasons I'm still single, because I've struggled for the longest time with anxiety, attachment issues.
Girl.
So yeah, I mean, I do. Yeah, it's probably daddy issues. I'd say I kind of always just wanted to be seen, I guess. Yeah. So, but I know that a lot of people deal with the same stuff. So
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
good to talk about it.
It is absolutely good. And thank you so much for just sharing everything about your career, about yourself, a little bit about your family. Maybe that's for another episode where we can talk more in depth about all the traumatic issues. Okay, Alexandra, that's what's up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.